Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early morning to LALATE. How are you? It's a 6:30 edition. You made it to Friday. About to crush the weekend. Crush the bacon. Did you bring me some bacon? The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here. And boy, someone who's not here is, you know who? Nancy. She's on recess. She's in the corner. She's staying in the corner. She's, she decided that she had worked so hard that she's not going to do much of anything. Now, the big question as you sit here today is what Mitch is going to do. Mitch has not yet agreed to do an extension and for the congressional budget bill. That's the CR that has your stimulus in it. The question is, is Mitch going to keep stimulus in the CR? Is he going to shut down the federal government today? Is he going to do a vote to extend the CR? And if he does do an extension to the CR, that means that people would come back on Monday and continue to hammer this out. What would happen then? You know, it's been 2 days, or almost 3 days, and there has been literally no progress. The only thing that has happened is more people have come up with ideas. But as more people come up with ideas, the people who already had ideas are not compromising. What has been the reoccurring theme for these congressional leaders is not to compromise. So, someone says, I have an eviction moratorium, good. The mortgage forbearance, good. Josh Hawley yesterday of a second stimulus check push of $1,200, good. What does everyone else say? Well, that's fine, but I'm not conceding my items. I want all of my things, and there's no room for you. You're late to the party. It's sort of screwy, and that's not what Congress is supposed to be. Congress is supposed to be making compromises, and the compromise today could be no stimulus in the CR or shutting down the federal government. Viewers of this channel think that shutting down the federal government today may be the best option to finally get the stimulus relief you need. And what do you think? This is Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning at 6:30 a.m. And boy, most viewers believe that shutdown or stimulus checks is the best path to reality check for these congressional leaders. When their checks are not delivered to their bank accounts, maybe they will realize why we are so pissed that we have not gotten our stimulus checks. And that reality may hit a head today when Mitch McConnell, who certainly doesn't need a check, he's certainly a wealthy enough man, may sit back and say, you know what? Let's shut down the federal government. I'm not giving you extension. We will know shortly this morning what Mitch is going to do, but as of yesterday, he had not yet done that, and he has had several days to do extension after reports claim he wanted to do one, and he didn't. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do. Because ultimately what Mitch does today or doesn't do is not going to give you a penny today. What is going to give you a penny today is the efforts of this channel to make sure you get this money right now. I can find you money right now. Not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, right now. And someone yesterday on Twitter sent me a really nice comment. It's an older man, and he said, I want to thank LALATE for telling viewers that this money was around, because people didn't know that this money was around to help for rent, utilities, and food until he got the message out day after day, hour after hour, hitting it and expanding the subject so that viewers would understand it. And I really, really thank that person for that message, because that really is what I've done, is that viewers initially didn't understand what I'm talking about. What is this thing you're talking about? What cares Apple on money? And then they didn't understand where it was, and then they couldn't find it, and they thought, wow, it didn't exist. And then as successes came in, where people said, I got $10,000, I got $5,000, I got 15, I got 20, and I was repeating it on air, then that motivated other few people to get it. And as more people got it, then they realized, oh, damn, there is this money out there. Let me go get it. And now I'm shocked, as the person reporting it to you, that the privates are paying the money in places in which I never knew they were. National organizations are paying this money. So please subscribe. Also like this video. Over here is an instant premiere that allows you to chat with your friends, and it's featured also at the 6 a.m. show. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is we really don't know what's going to happen with Mitch today. We'll find out relatively quickly. But the thing is, my prediction is that Mitch has not made a decision whether he wants to shut down the federal government or not, or basically do something else. Because Mitch hasn't changed his position for 2 days, so he's clearly plotting something out. Nancy's plot is just to, push and push and push and ebb and push. And I would hope that neither side is trying to make this as a political ploy for those 2 Atlanta seats on January 5th. But that's ultimately something in the back of my mind, that maybe they think it looks good for their party to say the other party didn't do this, hence vote for my party on January 5th for those 2 Georgia Senate seats. Can you imagine the federal government on shutdown from December 11th to January 5th, or on shutdown from December 18th to January 5th? What I freely tell you this morning is that there is no compromise from anyone on anything. But there are a lot of people who simply want to have the things you want to have. And that is what's really great news. The great news as you start this morning is that stimulus checks, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, PUA, and UI, those are getting the consensus of support that we have always hoped you would get, and you are getting it. The president of the White House, the president of the United States, he wants to have a stimulus check, $1,200 to $2,000, reports Josh Hawley, the senator out of Missouri, Republican. Then Josh introduced yesterday his own standalone bill. The only standalone bill we have involved that calls for a single $1,200 check for all adults and $500 for dependents, with lack of clarity if adult dependents don't get a check. Really unclear whether they do or they don't. Then everyone wants to give you extension of PUA and UI, but you know what I'm about to say. It was the Blue Dogs in July and the New Democrat Coalition in August that said, let's just do a standalone bill for PUA and UI and FPUC. Let's just do a standalone bill because people can't have their benefits lapsed. Do you remember that? Do you remember when Nancy flew in for the postman, what was his name? Something. And she flew in and she stood in that room and she had questions being fielded by news reporters, and PBS asked her, why don't you do a standalone bill for unemployment? She said, we're not going to do that. Our caucus is aligned. Well, it's now just days away from UI and PUA to set to expire, and she has not agreed to a standalone bill for that again either. What's also indicative of that is she allowed FPUC to expire in July, which to the voice of Senator Harris, now VP-elect Harris, was an abomination at the time. Harris was shocked that it would ever happen, and it did happen. Now remember, Harris is not in the House; she's in the Senate, so she thought that would, and she was not happy with it. And you can fully believe that to this day she's still not happy that FPUC ever expired, and has been expired for 22 weeks during a pandemic. So will this UI and PUA, eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance, and get their own standalone bill today? And will that standalone bill take care of them? Will Mitch just do an extension, or will Mitch do a shutdown? We just don't know. And there's no indication about anything. But what we do seem to know, and this is my prediction, is that there is no compromise from either side coming anytime soon. You have seen absolutely no movement from either side about anything. And the positions of Harris, Warren, Sanders, AOC, Hawley, and more writing letters and saying you have to have a stimulus check or I'm not voting in favor of it. These are the same people who have been saying this for months. And every time Nancy Pelosi says every Democrat supports her, they don't, because they're urging that there's a stimulus check, and Nancy doesn't take it to heart. Nancy's like, you know what? Let me talk about dead people because they can't interrogate me. Yeah. So Nancy was talking about dead people yesterday, and she's like, goodbye, and I'm going on my vacation till Monday. Oh, Lord, I just, good Lord. So there you go. Now, the important news as you start the morning is that there's money for you available in your city, county, and state. And that money is available across the board. In the video before this, I detailed how to get the money. What I want to go over in this video for you is the focus on how to push for the money. You want to focus first for the rent because it's the big amount of money. And then you want to focus for the utilities because it's the easiest one to get. There's almost no place you cannot get utility for a double negative there. Everyone is getting utilities almost everywhere. So that is something you freely should understand you can get. It's not always a big ticket number. It's sometimes as low as a couple $100s, but it's easy to get. Food is easy to get. And I don't hear a lot of people reporting back about food, so they may not want to get food. And then finally, holiday gifts, Christmas gifts for your kids. That is not difficult to receive. So reach out to the volunteers. There's a new community page that's been relaunched on this channel. It's up in the pinned comment, community page. You hit a button in the corner of this video and it pops out a slider. And on the slider, there's some videos. And the first link is the community page with a picture of some animals. Go to the community page. You see the volunteers delineated by Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And they're there to help if you've looked and cannot find it. They're now 14 volunteers, but even with 14 volunteers, fielding 2,000 viewers a day potentially, you don't want to overwhelm them. So please make the effort first to find the stuff. Next, escalated benefits. I want you to do escalated benefits if you qualify, and I wanted you to do EIDL if you qualify. Today is the 11th. You know what I've been telling you for a couple of days. I don't think that EIDL is going to be around past December 15th or December 20th. If it is, God bless. But if you're even the remotely interested in EIDL, get it on file. You want to go to sba.gov and apply for the economic injury. It is a debt instrument. There's no repayment for the first year. If you are an Uber, Lyft, or Grubhub or Airbnb operator, when you apply, the applicant is your name, your social security number, your bank account, your earnings. You do not put Airbnb anywhere in any of the lines or Uber. It is your name, your social security number, your bank account. You do not need a 1099. All you have to have done is declare the income on your 2019 tax return. Pull that Schedule C of your 2019 tax return. Look at the line 1 where it asks gross revenue. That's the answer to the question from SBA. They're going to ask you how much money you made. And they're going to ask you cost of goods sold. It's line 2 of your Schedule C. And it's very simple. It's a simple form. It's 4 pages. It's online. And you'll get the money within about a day to 2 days if you're approved relatively quickly, which you are, if you do everything very smoothly and simply. Go to Experian and check your Experian Vantage 3.0 score before you apply. It needs to be 570 or higher, and get it on. If your Experian Vantage score is a little bit lower, do the boost, which is free, raises your score 25 points. And if it's still not, you can get adverse entries removed very easily. Next, the important thing to understand is that escalated benefits from your states are available now. I want you to get that on file now if you qualify. Don't wait, because the holidays and COVID and lockdowns, it will be harder to get in touch with people. What's important to understand is if you've been unemployed for a lot of weeks, let's say 30 weeks, then even a $50 increase is $1,500. A $100 increase is $3,000, and a $300 increase is $10,000. A lot of viewers have gotten $10,000 for this channel because of this. So if you made over $30,000, you'll likely raise your benefits $300 a week. If you made over $25,000 in 2019 earnings, you'll raise your benefits about $100 a week. And if you made over $18,000, you'll raise your benefits about $50 a week. Go get it, because that could make the difference of $1,500, $3,000, or upwards of $10,000. Bam, right in your account. Turning back to Congress, what should you think about with PUA, UI, and FPUC going into today with Congress? Well, Congress is going to get your PUA and UI extended unless they literally fall apart. I don't see that issue falling apart. So if your benefits lapse this coming week or in a few days, they would reactivate your benefits with the bill becoming law if it became a law, and that those benefits would continue to late January. You would still not get FPUC. That's likely not to pass in the continuing resolution bill. But there's so many twists and turns, and I sense that across Friday I may have to go live when I would normally not go live, because I think there's going to be a lot of shockers. Thursday, surprisingly, did not have many shockers. I thought Thursday was going to be the Hot Mess Express. Rather, Wednesday was. Thursday was quiet. So Friday will either just become very bland if Mitch just says, okay, extension, or get very exciting and Mitch says, I'm not doing extension. And I think you know which one is the better option for us. Hashtag stimulus checks to shutdown. If you have questions or comments on today's video, drop them in the comments below and I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Join me at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Morning to LA. I'll have more details on that with the big show as well. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save my life.